Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Post Narcissistic Abuse or Post Narcissism. I'm going to try and do these talks unedited, so if I make some mistakes or if there's long pauses, it's because I'm trying to keep the recordings raw, and I am going to stay somewhat hidden and not put my face on YouTube because I have other YouTube channels, and so does my ex-Narcissist. Yeah, I'm gonna stay anonymous for now. I'm starting this channel because it has been over 2 years since I was discarded from my narcissist, and I was with him for 7 years. Almost 7 years. And so, a lot goes into 7 years, so I wouldn't be able to tell my story or give examples or try to help other people by just putting up one long video. So I have to make a whole separate, I think, YouTube channel on it. Today is the day after the 4th of July. So it's July 5th, and I had a really bad day yesterday, and so because of that, I'm starting this channel. There's quite a large community of people that are trying to survive narcissistic abuse here on YouTube, and I have been watching a lot of their channels, and I've been getting a lot of support from them. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone close to that I can talk to regarding the narcissistic abuse that I suffered because I don't know anyone else who has personally been with a narcissist that I know and seen it happen. And I've, at this point, pretty much taxed all my friends and family talking about it. And I don't want to go to a therapist, or coaching. I did have a life coach for a while. She very unfortunately died of ovarian cancer, but that's another story. I know everyone kind of has their sad stories. You tend to have a few more sad ones if you've been with a narcissist. But it was that that first life coach that I went to, who told me that my ex was a narcissist. And when she first, because I knew her and I talked to her for quite some, I knew her and we were friends for quite some time before I got discarded. And I talked very fondly always of my husband at the time. But when we broke up and he left me, and I was very upset, and I was trying to make sense of it, and I was talking with her, and when I was describing our relationship and everything that had happened, she's the one who told me that she told me to go find out what a covert narcissist was. And I had never heard the term covert narcissist, and as far as narcissism goes, I always thought a narcissist was like Donald Trump, just someone who just loved themselves and was mean to people and yelled and, like these jerks that are overprivileged and just think that they're, like what everyone thinks a narcissist was. I didn't know that there was such thing as like a secret narcissist that was, stealth, that no one really knows he's a narcissist, but he still has all the traits, and I guess a lot of people call it the lesser narcissist. But I'll tell you that, the abuse is just as bad. It's the same. They do the exact same things. And, it's been 2.5 years, and everyone in my life seems to be kind of looking at me and thinking that I should have gotten over it by now. But the thing is, you can do that, I think, with a normal relationship and a normal breakup. And, but when you're with a narcissist, it's different, and that's you don't just get over it like you do other relationships. and you can't just move on so quickly. And that's why as I go on YouTube, there's such a huge community of people trying to help you because and shine light on it, because it's so difficult. And if you're watching, or I guess listening to this YouTube talk, a lot of people, including myself, always, kind of ask themselves at the beginning, was I the narcissist? Because, you feel like you were doing a lot of the same things, and I want to tell you that if you're listening to this, you're not a narcissist, because a narcissist would never listen to a video like this. A narcissist doesn't ever question whether or not they're a narcissist, and that should give you some comfort, that you should know that you're not the narcissist, because you're asking if you're, So there's that, and there's a lot. I mean, I can talk forever. I'm going to try and leave these videos fairly short, between 10 and 15 minutes each, as I go forward. And I do want to kind of tell my story and give examples, because the narc I was with, he was so covert, and he was loved and admired by so many people, including myself. So I just thought that there was just no way that everyone had it kind of wrong. He's not a narcissist until I started really kind of studying it. But that doesn't really, for me so far, it didn't really matter. To find a lot of these things out, it was still upset. And for a long time, I wanted him back, horribly. Despite everything, I wanted him back for, I say, a year. And the narcissist will always leave you at the worst possible time, which makes the recovery take longer, and it's just simply more hurtful. If you're in a, if they left, they'll leave you on the day that, your dog died or something, or you're literally, you're too upset to give them supply, so they don't need you anymore, that type of thing. So, first, I'm just going to take a few minutes to go through some of the terms that I've learned in dealing with this, supply. What is that? The pattern is the same. Doesn't matter if it's the greater or lesser or overt or covert narcissist, or mid-range, some of them they call them. The pattern is still the same, and techniques and things that they do is all the same. So, the first stage is the one that makes it that much more painful when they leave you, because it's what made you fall in love with them, which was the love bombing, being love bombed. It's not a normal beginning of a normal relationship, because it's so intense. Only someone who has been with a narcissist will ever be in that intense of a love bombing, whirlwind falling in love stage, because you can only do it. Only a narcissist has the know-how or the ability to make that normal, so the love bombing. And I'll tell you how my narc love bombed me. It was pretty spectacular, but and then you have the the things that they talk about, like gaslighting. I had to find out really what gaslighting was, and what flying monkeys were, and then the devaluing stage. Positive and negative fuel is still fuel, and then the discards, and then the new supply. Right? And I end up being the old supply, and they have a new supply, and then the pattern that takes place after you. And I think narcissism has been put in the spotlight a lot because of social media, but it's also the narc's favorite weapon, isn't it? They use social media in ways that are very clever and keeps them safe and in more control of a situation, and they use it for fuel of all sorts, and so it is quite the apparatus for the narcissist to have social media at their will. So and I will go a lot into that. I don't know I can't really give you my real name here on YouTube, so I'll think of something to call myself, like my alter ego that I'll have here on YouTube. And if you recognize my voice, still please do not type it in the comments. I would like to remain anonymous for this channel and this community. But check in with the future videos as I kind of start to... I'm using this as somewhat of a therapy because it has been so long since my relationship ended, and I'm hoping this will make it better without having to tax my family and friends, because the only ones that can really understand are other people that have been with a narc. You know, you can try to explain it to people that don't, that have, you know, have had normal relationships, and one person calls it a relationship. And so, you know, I want to, like, I can't tax my family and friends anymore, and a lot of these things are embarrassing, and it's hard even to tell my close friends about it and admit a lot of these things, because you know some of these things are so dark, you really don't want to share it with people that don't understand, but because it is a very specific type of abuse, and they do call it narcissistic abuse, narcissistic, you know, surviving, you know, because it is something you actually do have to survive, going through it and after it. So it's yeah, I'm doing this channel just to kind of help myself and hopefully help others, because it took a lot for me to learn the things that I've learned, to find out, you know, what the hell happened, and how did something so right go so wrong, and I spent so many months blaming myself. I thought it was all my fault, and it took a while to get that straight, and I'm still going through it, is the thing. It's not like I'm totally, you know, I'm still going through it. I'm still dealing with the emotions that just don't seem to go away. I've heard of other people like coming out of it, and they just don't care, and they moved on, and they you know, they're happy, and I'm like, oh God, how do you do that? Because I'm not doing it. I'm not able to do that. So I'm hoping this helps, having this channel. Anyway, and I'll try to keep things like somewhat in order, but thank you everyone for tuning in to this first video that I'm putting up on this channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. And I promise I will always read every single comment, and I'll try to reply as much as I possibly can to everyone. The reason why I'm talking and doing these talks on YouTube is because I'm a horrible writer. You know, I can't write worth anything. My words are so unarticulated when I try to write everything down. I'm just I'm very slow at it. So I can talk though. I can put things on video. But I will read all your comments as we go through the things that we need to know to recover, and the things that we need to know to understand, and to move on, and to find happiness post narcissism.